ladies and gentlemen. I am the CHALL from Chell Sport. We are live here on YouTube. We are officially live. This is going to be just a nice, calm, relaxing show, just to speak about after the aftermath of the transfers and what's been going on. So basically, that is what's happening. We are literally live to talk about George Miller. We're here to talk about Luke Molyneux, who's been announced today. There is the Luke Molyneux video, which will be coming tonight or this evening. So stay tuned for that. Just quickly, I will just put my charger into my laptop. But yes, we're going to be speaking on both today. I put the StreamYard link and pinned it at the top of the chat, so you guys can come in and call in and have your say. So if you guys want to call in and have your say, then please do. And yeah, I'm really happy to talk about this. I think we're starting to finally learn from our mistakes and move forward in the transfer window. So really excited about that. This is great news, especially when he was linked with higher leagues. Absolutely. I speak in the video about links about a month ago via the 72 to Derby, to Barnsley, to Hearts. I think a few Bradford fans wanted him. So Luke Molyneux for me is a good transfer, especially with who he was linked with. And the fact that we've potentially, we don't know if it's completely true or not, but if it's true that we've beaten off teams like Barnsley and Derby to the signature, that for me is a very good sign of our pulling power in this new sort of football structure and this new direction. So I think all of us are going into the transfer window with a bit of caution, especially with the inexperience that was part of the new football structure, even though Steve Ayre was the new assistant manager. I think with Coppinger not having a lot of experience in the past as a director of football, with Gary McSheffrey being a new up-and-coming manager, we had a lot of caution going into this, especially with it being so inexperienced. But I can tell you something now. I think all of us are blown away with how good the transfer business has been so far. Harrison Biggins, box-to-box midfielder, does the energy, does the work rate, does the good work, presses as a midfielder, very tenacious midfielder, free deal on 2 years. I think it was 2 years for Biggins, 2 or 3 years. George Miller, number 9, decent goal-scoring record with Walsall last season, high-pressing, swarming striker, a pressing forward, free deal on a 3-year contract. Luke Molyneux, 2-year deal, Hartlepool, tenacious winger, pressers, high offensive, mean left foot, 2-year deal, like I said, and a free deal. So we've not spent any money in this transfer window, but we've spent it on 3 very good signings. So that's why I always say it's not all about how much you spend, it's about how smartly you spend. But yeah, I do have the StreamYard link pinned in at the top of the chat, so you guys can come on and have your say. I will be keeping eyes on my Twitter over this live stream, because I do want to bring a Walsall fan in, hopefully, tonight, to speak about George Miller. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get that sorted. So we're not going to promise anything at this stage, but hopefully, if we can get him on tonight, it'll be Walsall Fan TV, or I think someone from Walsall Fan TV. So we'll hopefully get that sorted. I am trying to message some Hartlepool people as well, try and get them on the show as well. So that is the goal tonight as well. We just messaged Walsall Fan TV. There we go. Just messaged him. That cracking goal against Harrogate, unreal signing, says Tegan. But let's bring Kieran in now. Kieran, you are apparently part of the Neto brigade that didn't pipe up when we signed good players. You did pipe up. You did praise the board for signing these players. And what do you write on the business? Because I know the Neto lot have been getting some stick about apparently not praising these signings. But I've seen you guys. You have been praising these signings. So what do you think about these signings?
Can you hear me, Charlie?
Yeah.
It's good to see. I mean, obviously, we don't want to get. I think everybody's saying we don't want to get too carried away at the minute. But it's good that when cops come in and said, look, we're changing the way we're doing things, they've meant it, sort of thing. I mean, how many times we've been given false promises over the years, as I've said numerous times. It seems that now it means there is a change happening. I mean, if he looks as close, I know that it's different, but he looks like a Malik Wilkes type player. He's cutting inside, left foot, near post, curling around into the top corner. I mean, if we can see that next season and he's getting double figures, you just never know. But like I say, we can't get too carried away just yet. We've not even played a pre-season game yet. There's still a bit of work to be done, I think. But so far, it's very positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I you know me, mate. I've said for months, it's not about how much you spend; it's about how smartly we spend what we've got. And you know, the fact that all three of these deals are free deals, if they turn out to be better value than some players that are being paid for by some other clubs, we've technically done the best business then, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at Stockport signed Kyle Wootton from Notts County, I think it were. And I dare say they've probably paid God knows how much on wages. And we've maybe got Molyneux and Miller in for the same as what they've paid for one player, sort of thing. So it's like saying we've not got much to spend, but it's spending it wisely, which we need to do. And I mean, look at the season we got promoted from League One under Saunders, when Saunders built a good squad. We didn't have a big squad, but he spent the money that we had wisely. And look at where that got us. So, yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how the season goes. I mean, there seems to be a lot of Hartlepool fans that are really not happy about Molyneux joining a team in the same league. But I mean, I heard Molyneux's interview. I mean, did you hear Molyneux's interview?
Yeah, I literally just listened to it. He said, by the sounds of it, he wanted to move a bit further up. With what he said, I think he said we wanted to move further up a league, but obviously that's not materialised. So it's our gain at the end of the day. But it is funny seeing Hartlepool fans complaining, saying we're not a big club, which, yeah, we're not. But at this level, with the previous history in Championship, I suppose we are a fairly big club, especially for somebody like Molyneux, who's, I know he's been at Sunderland, but never really got a crack at playing, really. But we should be able to attract these types of players. But I mean, Stockport, again, that you could say they're not a big club, but with the money they're spending, they are a big club. Same as Wrexham in conference. I dare say, I dread to think how much bigger their wage bill is compared to ours. And I wouldn't class Wrexham as a big club. I mean, they've not been in Football League for God knows how long, but you know that's how football is nowadays. It's changing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think McSheffrey said it as well after signing Luke Molyneux. I think they said, you know, you look at the Sunderland documentary that we all watched and how turmolic it was and how they were trying to get rid of players off the books. So it was a case of turmoil at Sunderland as to why he left. And you look at what Luke Molyneux is saying, and he said, on the lines of, you know, I think this club could get back to League One and maybe even progress to the Championship. Is it refreshing to hear that from that kind of player?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, it's refreshing to see everybody happy with these three signings that we've made this summer. I mean, January, yeah, we're at 7 players. We signed 7 players, sorry. But like, for example, we signed Agard, and some people are happy about it, some people weren't happy about it. Whereas this time round, everybody's like, right, well, George Miller scored 12 goals, however many he scored for Walsall. What can he do for us? And I mean, Molyneux, same. If he's done well in a Hartlepool team with better players around him, what else can he do? Like, sort of progress us to the next level and them as players. And I think that's obviously what Molyneux's looking at. I mean, he's on a 2-year deal. It wouldn't surprise me, say, if he has a good season this season, we get promoted. I don't know if there's a clause in his contract for an extra year or what, but it might be one of them where we need to offer him a contract straight away to not have this happen to us, sort of thing, where he's leaving for free. Which
I think that'll be the real judge. I think that'll be the real judge of the new direction. If he's got a year left next season, he's had a fantastic season. If we give him a new 2-3 year deal this time next year, that will prove to me that the club have changed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what's next. I think a left back is obviously crucial to allow Tommy Rowe to move further forward. But if he wants to play him at left back, he'll stick him at left back, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got a left back on. Well, I think we've got a left back on trial, and there has been previous links that we're going to bring in Kieran Dunn at.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is it Kieran Dunn that's on trial or not? I know.
It might be actually. I didn't expect him to be on.
Who's on trial? A young lad.
Who's he called?
Bailey Conway is called.
Bailey Conway.
Yeah, I've seen him play a few times. I don't know if you can remember, he scored an own goal against Rovers I can't remember if it was last pre-season or pre-season before, but he were on the pitches yesterday, so be interesting to see.
You say Bailey Conway?
Conway, yeah.
Do we know what team he was from?
He plays for Rossington Main.
Oh, right. So is he sort of moving up from the non-leagues then?
Yeah, he's only, I think he's maybe 19, 18.
All right. So,
but he's always been impressive at Rosso Main's level. Obviously, it's a complete different ball game at Football League level, but it's just a shame we don't have the under-23 team to sort of. I imagine he'd have been signed straight away if we did, sort of thing.
He'd have been perfect for the under-23 team. I mean, to be fair, I think probably from what we're seeing then, I think what's probably going to happen then is we're going to take this Bailey guy on trial, see what he does, and then the first left back will be probably Kieran Dunn, and then we either bring in Bailey or we bring in maybe a loanee or someone of that under-18 category. And to be fair, speaking of loanees, it seems like Gary McSheffrey is sticking to one or two, which is so refreshing. I'm sick and tired of seeing 6 loanees every season. It's so refreshing to see only 1 or 2 this time.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that, to be fair. I were expecting us. Usually we've got a couple of loanees in already, but I mean, I saw him say we're sticking to this and that of loan players, but Welland said exact same last season, so I took it with a pinch of salt. But I mean, if there's players out, it's the fact that I think last season we just recruited loan players to fill the squad instead of using the quality. Whereas previous seasons, like you say, we've signed Ben Whiteman on loan, Tom Anderson, we've turned them into permanent players. Where if we can sort of do that, or maybe just signing these loan players with a bit of experience. That have maybe played at League 2 level last season and come back, or maybe done well in conference last season and met the next step up. It'll be
I think when you look at loanees, there's plenty of options out there. I mean, I spoke about Alfie Devine on loan from Spurs as a centre midfielder option, 18 years old, a lot of potential. Could use some game time. I mean, could you imagine going into next season with a centre midfield option of Close, Clayton, Biggins, and then you have Devine in there. You have Molyneux who can play at Cam, but mainly on the wings. And then you've got Ravenhill if you need to recall him from a loan spell. And if you bring in one more permanent midfielder, maybe, that's a decent quality, then you've got the shapings of a great midfield there for the season.
Yeah, you look on paper now, squad's starting to shape up. There's still obviously uncertainty with Hawula and Dodo.
I think they'll both go, you know. I think bringing in Molyneux, especially since he can play on that right-hand side as well as the left, and then you bring in George Miller as the number 9, I think that pushes Dudu and Hawula out of the squad completely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I saw, I can't remember if it was yesterday or today, McSheffrey saying again, some players did things completely wrong last season, and if they sort of overstep that line again, he's not going to tolerate it. And I think we can all say that Dodo and Hawula overstepped that line numerous times last season, so I'd be very, very surprised if. But what I don't understand is Dodo supposedly not turning up for training after the season that he had. I mean, I could understand if he scored 20 goals and then didn't want to play in League 2, but he's not impressed. So I don't see who's going to be queuing up to sign him. I've seen Notts County fans saying they might be interested.
I've seen a lot of Notts County fans, and to be fair, there's Walsall fans after we signed George Miller saying Walsall fans saying, you know, is he going to go the other way now? And then we had Notts County fans coming on Twitter over the past couple of days saying, asking us what is he like, and you know me, mate. I've said when he's at his best, he's usually on the right hand side, and when he's at his best, he's all right. He's a decent player on his best day, but when he's not up to the level that he knows he can be, he's just playing with 10 men.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
same with Hawula. Yes, Hawula's very, very injury prone, yes, but on his best day, he can still be a decent player. It's just not worked with Rovers, and I don't think he'll work in the kind of football we want to play. Because I think Hawula's very much a hold-up winger, and I think Dodu's very much a right winger that just likes to hold on to the ball and likes to put a decent cross in every now and then, but he's trying to be a target man winger rather than be just an out and out right winger. And I said this on videos, and I've said this in the Molyneux video coming up tonight. It seems like, and I don't know if you've seen this, mate, but it seems like we've seen a common theme with these signings. We're playing high pressing, high swarming, attacking football with energetic players who work for 90 minutes and don't stop running. That seems to be the theme of the transfers this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, George Miller said even if he's having a naff game, he'll run for 90 minutes. And
that's got to be very exciting.
Yeah, last season when Alfie May was scoring all his goals and people were saying, why do we get rid of him? Why do we get rid of him? We've not replaced him as such because it's obviously seasons ago when he left now, but we've sort of got a similar type of player into that sort of mould. That at the time, it's like one of them. Obviously, Alfie May still gets a bit of slack now. People saying he weren't good enough and this and that, but I think that's what we missed last season. We just missed players who want to play and put in the effort. There were just none of that, were there? So it is refreshing to see that, like, again, they sort of said they were going to do background checks on players and stuff like that. It does seem that they are a right fit for the club and sort of what we want as fans.
I think Coppinger's finally done what everyone's been wanting for the past 3 years, and that's to listen to the fans and what they want for the club. And I think they've finally done that. In terms of the Molyneux deal, then, obviously a month ago there was reported interest from Barnsley, Derby, Hearts. I think a few Bradford fans wanted him at their club. If it's true that Derby and Barnsley were one of the several League One and League Two clubs that we've managed to face off their interest, would that be a good representation of our pulling power under McSheffrey, under Cops, under Steve Eyre? Would you say that's a good move in terms of facing off against other clubs?
Definitely. I mean, we saw last season with Will Grigg, we waited and waited and waited before signing him, and maybe it were a case of we've sort of got the deal on the table and he's waiting for a bigger club, but we've sort of said, they've maybe said, right, well, we're not sure if we're going to sign you, blah, blah, but we're willing to sign you now. So we've sort of given him an ultimatum to sort of sign or be a free agent for the rest of summer and not be training, sort of thing. I mean, I think every player, as Miller said yesterday, you want to be training with squad from day one. So you're not playing catch up and this and that. It's no good signing somebody on the Friday before season starts and you're trying to sort of learn how team plays, and then it's taking you a month to sort of get ready for, a bit like Kuka last season. We signed him, we got COVID. Obviously, never really got going. We don't want a repeat of that again. So, yeah, it is refreshing to see us doing business this early. And who knows, we might get five signings for every day of the week this week. You never know.
3 days to go. 3 days to go. I mean, obviously, the next question is what's next in terms of our business. I think we've pretty much answered that already. It's got to be a permanent left back, a permanent centre midfielder, and maybe another winger on loan, another striker on loan, and that's pretty much our business sorted. Maybe get Joe Wright. Maybe get Joe Wright on a 1-year contract if he's training with us, and if he's fit.
I was just going to say maybe obviously if Fajiri and Joe Wright are training. I can't see any harm in it, but if they get injured again, or I don't know, it'd probably be on non-contract terms, I imagine, or maybe a 6-month contract, just see how they sort of go along.
Yeah, I think with Fajiri, I don't think I see him coming back, but I see maybe Joe Wright getting at least a 1-year deal, just to give us an extra option in the centre back role.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit of experience as well. He's obviously been promoted with us from this league before. Played in League One, but my only problem with Joe Wright is that if you think back to when he did get injured, he'd agreed to leave already. So I don't know. I'm a bit sceptical on it, but like you say, he's a good player. But it'd be interesting to see if the same Hearts or Aberdeen, one of the two.
Hearts, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not sort of maybe been invited to train there, or it's an interesting one.
Yeah, it should be interesting, mate. And I mean, obviously, the big thing that we wanted was clarity on the direction of the club, and we hear these signings speaking about the reason why they came, the direction, and things like that. Would you say we're starting to? I wouldn't say 100% now, but would you say that we could be slowly but starting to get our club back?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, to get 3 signings where everybody's happy and everybody's sort of, from what I've seen, sort of maybe looking forward to the season starting now. I've seen a few tweets already, people saying we're going to win the league, as is always the same when you make a decent signing. But again, you don't want to get too carried away yet. But as long as we just sort of continue on this sort of path, the only way is up at the end of the day, I suppose. It's it's looking good so far, but we can't get too carried away.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Kieran, thank you very, very much for coming on the show today.
No worries, enjoy.
No worries, mate. And like I said, if you do want to share this stream around with everyone, try and get some more people on, that'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
No worries, mate. Cheers. Take care.
Yeah, bye.
So that was Kieran. Obviously has some wonderful opinions. Always has some wonderful opinions, Kieran. He knows I'm not bored out. I know I know he's got his own opinions and things like that. We always keep a civil agreement, and it's great speaking to Kieran all the time, and a great guy indeed. So let's go through some comment sections. I did put the StreamYard link in the comment section down below. Again, it is pinned at the top of the chat as well, so you guys can come on and have your say. I think we definitely need to get rid of Joe Dodu and Jordi Hawula now. I'd definitely give Joe Wright a 1-year deal. I think it's probably best if Joe Dodu and Jordi Hawula go. I think it's probably the best thing for everyone. Again, we don't know the situation about Joe Dodu, whether he turned up for training on day one or not, confirmed yet. He wasn't in any of the pictures, but we don't know that for certain. We don't know whether he was actually at the ground yet, so we don't know. We can't officially confirm things if we don't know things for definite. We can only see what's been put out there and try and just sort of see what happens. In terms of Joe Wright, though, I wouldn't be against giving him a 1-year deal. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be a good piece of business. Someone who's experienced, someone who's been at this level before with the club, and can give us a helping hand if and when needed. He wouldn't be a guaranteed out-and-out starter because he's just come off a massive injury. But for someone like that to be involved in the squad, like either on the bench or whatever, or be a bit of a leader in the locker room, and who knows, maybe one day becomes a coach at the club, then I wouldn't be against it. If it's just a 1-year deal with a view to a future deal which allows him to be a defensive coach, something like that maybe. Gary McSheffrey is really impressing me with the signings. He's definitely impressing me for sure. I spoke to him at the end of the season, Gary McSheffrey, and he did say to me he wants to play attacking football. He wants to bring in the right people for the club, and he's living up to what he was saying to me. So, we can't really fault him as a manager. Taxi for Dodu, and while you're at it, send one for Hawula. These signs are beauty. Gary McSheffrey masterclass, says George. It does feel like a McSheffrey masterclass. And I think I've just seen someone post on Twitter with our squad, our logo, and a boat that says HMS Piss the League. It's someone just tweeting that saying, is it too soon for one of these? It is definitely, to that person, if you're watching this, it is definitely not too soon when you see other clubs, fan bases doing that. So if they're doing it, we can do it. So there we go. Oh, while you're at it, I'm pretty sure you've seen on Twitter, good things happen that come in threes. Look at that. Look at that. I've got 3 of my preseason tickets sorted. Armed Foot Welfare and the 2 home games against Rotherham and Huddersfield. Hopefully, by the end of this week, I should be sorting out the other 3 as well. Nuneaton Borough, Spennymoor Town, and FC United of Manchester. Fingers crossed. Obviously, I'll be at the kit launch on Thursday. I have my ticket for that, so that's really, really cool. And yes, I'm really looking forward to a lot of very exciting content coming up this week and in the next couple of weeks and over the next month of pre-season. So stay tuned. Shows the intent, absolutely. I think the way he started to play football at the end of the season is going to the us far this season. Absolutely. I think we're starting to see what kind of football Gary McSheffrey wants to play, especially since towards the back end of last season. We want to play further up the field. We want to bring in players that are going to play the ball further up the field. Good things coming threes. Another one tomorrow. A left back, maybe. Someone did tell me. Someone did message me on Twitter, publicly on Twitter, and said, are we going to go for the hat trick in 3 days, Chal? Is there going to be another signing? Maybe, And I said, who knows? It'd be nice, but if not, then we've got 2 brilliant signings. And if we have to wait a day for the next one, then maybe so. I could see the next signing coming in maybe at some point this week. To be fair, that brings me on to that question. Any rumours on a left back? Dunn, maybe. I could probably answer that now. I think Kieran Dunn is probably going to be our new left back. I wouldn't say it's definite because as we all know, things can happen in transfers. So yeah, I don't want to sort of, go for it straight away. I don't want to put the nail on the head and say it's done and dusted, but I would say that Kieran Dunn is probably likely. Either on trial or just signed on the dot. And I'm probably going to predict a 2-year deal. Not definite, but I'm going to predict a 2-year deal for Kieran Dunn. Maybe tomorrow, maybe at some point this week. Who knows? But it'll be hopefully some point in the next couple of weeks we'll get something on a left back. How's it going, mate? Rich, Eagle Eye Football. What's your early fixtures looking like? Our start is crazy. Well, our fixtures haven't come out yet. Our fixtures come out on Thursday. Our league fixtures. We've got 2 out of our 3 Papa John's Trophy group stage teams. By the way, I've shared the StreamYard link. Eagle-eyed Football, please, let's come on the channel. Basically, we've got Barnsley and Lincoln in our Papa John's Trophy group. We've got a development team that's going to be drawn on Thursday. Our Carabao Cup opponent's going to be drawn on Thursday. And our league fixtures will be announced on Thursday. So we've got a lot of things going on Thursday. And also our home kit gets announced and revealed on the Thursday. Thursday's a mental day for this football club. League fixtures, development team in our Papa John's Trophy group, Carabao Cup opponents, home kit, everything's getting revealed pretty much on the Thursday. And who knows, maybe we'll bring out a new sign with the new kit. Who knows? I spoke to someone within the club. He's not saying names for his sake, but they said there's new face at the club he didn't recognise. 2 being Miller and Molyneux, Dunn, Probs, and some trialists. That wouldn't be surprising, to be honest. I think it's probably a case of Dunn, Miller, Molyneux, Biggins, and some trialists. Like Kieran said, he said that someone from Rosington Main's on trial with us who's 18, 19. Very impressive. So that could only be a good sign, especially with him being a young prospect, and you know what some teams can get with gems from non-league. So there we go. 5 minutes. Eagle Eye Football's coming on in a few minutes. Calling it Hartlepool home day 1. If we get Hartlepool at home or away on day 1, I wouldn't be surprised with that. So yeah, I am trying to track someone from Walsall's fan base as well, just to try and get him on the show at some point by the end of tonight. I do want to do a long stream. I do want to do a very, very long stream. Not very, very, very long. I want to try and get an hour or 2 done tonight, just to get loads of people on the show. So keep the chat rolling, guys. Keep the chat buzzing with questions, buzzing with debates, buzzing with predictions. Let's keep the chat going. Keep the call-ins going. Please use the StreamYard link. It's pinned at the top of the chat. Get in here. Share your thoughts. If you're a Donny fan, if you're a rival fan, if you're a Hartlepool fan, Hartlepool fans, what are you thinking about this transfer? Do you forgive Molyneux for leaving? Comment down below or call into the show. Kian Johnson of Rosso and Derby Academy. I think he's decent young goalkeeper, about 19-ish, so could be him. To be fair, I wouldn't be against that, I have heard a lot of good stuff about this guy. So, especially since Chadwick's, I think it's Chadwick. I think one of our academy goalkeepers has left. I think at least one. That's a weird question, Will. Screw it, both. But yeah, there we go. So you've got Eagle Eye Football coming on the show in a couple of minutes. So he's a Crystal Palace fan. So we all have our history with Crystal Palace. We all of us as Rovers fans have history with Crystal Palace after that FA Cup game a few years back, and yes, we know about that game. It was probably, I think it was the last time. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the last time we sold out the stadium, or pretty much sold out the stadium. So there we go. Kean currently is within the academy as a goalkeeping coach in development. Fair enough. So he's learned to be a goalkeeping coach at Derby, and then he's goalkeeper at Rosington. 19 years old, still a bit of potential. You know, I wouldn't be against that. If we brought him in, I wouldn't be against that. I mean, if we brought him in as like a third choice goalkeeper and loan out Bottomley, and then he still continues his goalkeeping coaching at Derby, or if depends what happens with Derby, to be fair, because if Derby's running out of money, then he'll have to do his goalkeeping coaching, with us. So, or somewhere else. Like I said, who knows? But there we go. So I wouldn't be against it. I've heard a lot of good things from him, but again, we will see. Just having a look since it has turned into the turn of the hour. It's the turn of the hour, so we do want to see some new transfers and some new transfer news. Preston have signed Freddie Woodman in the Championship. Very good transfer for them. That is a 3-year deal from Newcastle for an undisclosed fee. So very, very interesting there. Very interesting news there. It's Preston. Let's have a look at some more stories. I swear Hartlepool had a story. There we go. Hartlepool have got they had like a Scottish flag on the back, and we didn't know what it was. And then so Regan Tamilty joins Hartlepool from Wraith Rovers. I think it's a free deal because it does say the fullback joins after recently leaving Wraith Rovers. So I'm guessing it's a free deal. Hello there, Nat, Sheffield Wednesday fan. Only about 5'10". That's fair enough. Rich is here, Crystal Palace fan. Rich, how you doing, mate?
Not too bad. I'm doing all right. And to be honest, is this a debut on not on the channel, but
yeah.
That's crazy because I know we did a recording like beginning of the last season stuff and whatnot. So an honour to be on.
Fantastic, mate. I mean, obviously, we've just made some movements in the transfer market, bringing in Luke Molyneux, reportedly fighting off interest from Derby and Barnsley. So that's got to feel good as Rovers fans to fight off interest from Derby on Luke Molyneux, and bringing in George Miller, who had interest from Stockport, who's got bucket loads of money compared to us. So again, that's got to feel good. Obviously, for Palace, we've got a bit of history after the FA Cup match 7 years ago. So ever since 7 years ago, it seems like Palace are definitely moving in the right direction on the Patrick Vieira.
Unbelievably, yeah.
I've got a few of your youngsters on my transfer recruitment plan video. Jaden Edmonds, Jessaroon Raksaki, I think it's pronounced.
He will most likely be first team, I reckon.
Is he first team?
Yeah, he did play against Man United last game of the season. I think we're deliberating as a club whether to send him out on loan or to have him as part. But he's ready.
He's literally on the verge of getting ready to start game out nearly. So if you were to loan him out, would you say Championship or League One, or do you think maybe someone like us could actually break the bank and go for it?
You know what? You never know with these transfers. For example, like Rob Street went off to Newport last season, so I wouldn't turn my nose down at any of our boys getting first team football. That's the main aim, to be playing regular football. And it's easy to look at League One and League Two and try to turn your nose up to it and stuff. Listen, football's competitive regardless. For me personally, the Championship's the most competitive league in England.
Yeah.
And this is me as a team in the Prem. But it's just it's the toughest league to get out of there. And I think, obviously, personally, Championship, yes, will be great because it will build character, mental strength, physical strength, because it is physical. But like I said, if he was to get a loan elsewhere, I wouldn't complain. But I do expect him to be in and around the first team, to be fair.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And obviously, Jaden Edmonds, another prospect that's rumoured to be among the crop of the new Palace youngsters breaking through, along with Jesseroon,
Yeah,
along with Tayo at left back as
Tyler,
well.
yeah.
I don't expect Tayo to be loaned out. I was sort of considering whether to put him in my recruitment plan. But I was sort of like, no, he's going to be around that first team next season, surely.
Yeah, it kind of all depends on what we do in the market with Tayo, because when I look at our squad, we've got Mitchell, who's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but he ended up having to play every game, pretty much every game. And we do need cover now. Reece Hannon, I don't think he's ready.
He's
You
someone
know,
that I was expecting that we'd be looking at if we're looking for a lone left back. He'd be
yeah,
someone I'd be looking at getting.
yeah. So if we were to bring another left back in, then I could see Tayo getting the loan. If not, then I reckon he'll be back up to Mitchell.
Yeah, and would you expect probably both Tayo and Reece to be loaned out, or just Reece?
It will be one or the other,
Okay.
especially if we don't bring a left back in. We can't allow both of them to go because, like I said, I think we're short. I haven't seen Patrick Vieira put Jeffrey Slot back at left back. He's tried Joe Ward there and it don't work personally. So I personally think it'll be a bit criminal to leave us with just Tyrick Mitchell going into the season.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, in terms of left backs, I mean, obviously you guys know that about my left back options from the recruitment plan, but I had in terms of permanence, I had Joel Lopez, Trey Coyle, Brandon Amonde Ottawill, Adrian Sporley from Dundee United, and then a good friend of mine from who does Into the Empty Net had options like Rafa T, Ken Locke, Greg Lee, who's now gone to Ipswich, Kieran Dunn, who's been linked with us heavily from Sunderland's academy, and obviously Anthony Glennon as well. So, he had a lot of options down there. But
Yeah, it must be good as a Donny fan to know that you're still attracting like some good prospects. Despite obviously the unfortunate circumstances of going down in that. But what's your thoughts on the season coming up? How do you think you're going to do?
especially after the business we've done and what they've said about the club, I think with Molyneux coming out and saying the ambition is to get back into the Championship and this could be the right place to do it, I think that's promising. As after 2-3 years of short-term patches and no real fixing the holes long-term in the squad and just patching it up here and there and causing problems for ourselves. Even under Darren Moore, we caused problems for ourselves in the recruitment department. I think that we're now starting to finally wake up and football people are making football decisions. So I see this club going back in the right direction now, fingers crossed. And in terms of this season, I'm going to go for a top 4 finish in League Two. I think it's very competitive in League Two because there's about 12 clubs that could be fighting for promotion for different reasons. A couple of surprise packages in there as well. So I think it's going to be very, very hard to determine who's going to be in that top 7 this season. But I would say we'll be one of them for definite. And I think we would definitely have a strong shot at automatic promotion. In terms of the title, that's anyone's guess. It could be yours, it could be Bradford, it could be Stockport, it could be our old manager at Leyton Orient, Richie Wellens. It could be a few teams. So I think the title pitch is going to be very hard to guess, but I think we'll definitely be up for automatics. But I think we wouldn't fall out the top 4 or 5 this season. I think at the moment, I think if we make a couple more signings, if we make 2 more permanents and 2 more loanees that are of League One quality, these signings have been, then I would think we'll have a shot at top 3.
No, awesome. Because I mean, obviously, a club of your stature, you even think about your stadium. It's a huge stadium.
15,000 capacity. It's like it's bigger than some of the Premier League clubs.
Yeah, it's not too far off Sellers Park. I know we're going to have redevelopment because we're to full capacity. We're 25.
We've got the potential to expand to 30,000 if we I think it will only expand though it'll only expand to 30,000 if we get to like Premier League levels, and if we get like a couple of good finishes in the Premier League table and get up to Europe and stuff like that. That'll be the only way it'll expand. I think it'll stay 15,000 for probably most of my lifetime now.
Yeah,
but I think it's still good. I mean, they might expand it a little bit to maybe 20,000 if we get into the Championship again, but
no, absolutely. And I guess the only other question I had for you is, how do you think your playing style will be now? Because I know we've had this discussion before. It's been so indifferent with your club.
Yeah, I think we've now started to find exactly what we're going for now. I think now the direction is, and I could see it in the theme of the signings that we've made so far: high press, high offensive, swarming the opposition for 90 minutes, constant work rate, don't stop running, high energy. And I think I don't know who style, after saying all that, I don't know who you as a Premier League fan would compare that to, but I'm talking high offensive, swarming, high energy, don't stop running, attacking football. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, that's been us this season, actually.
On paper, it sounded like something Bielsa would do, but
that's a great analogy, actually, because he was very high press. I mean, also Klopp, he's got a very high press as well.
I think 4-3-3 is the formation we're going to play as well. I think if we have to, we'll go to the 5-3-2 and play wing backs, but I think we'll do a similar style of football, even if we're playing 5 at the back. But I think the main formation's 4-3-3, which again relates to Klopp, it relates to Bielsa sometimes. So
absolutely, and I guess all for me before I go and put the kids to bed. Good luck for the season. We'll definitely chat throughout it and stuff, and it'll be good to see you climbing back up the pyramid.
Yeah, I think after the season we've just started with the 12 months, it was basically the worst 12 months in our club's history since we were kicked out of the Football League in '98. So it's not been a season that any of us will forget for the wrong reasons. And if we can get promotion this season with a decent scoring record, keep the goals conceded a bit lower, then none of us can complain, really. I think the true test for McSheffrey will be back in League One. If we get promoted this season, get back in League One, let's see if that great recruitment that we've been doing this summer continues in League One, and we continue to attract higher players and try and get higher up the League One table again. Kind of like what Cheltenham have done this past season, coming up from League Two, like what Bolton did, we're back up from League Two. I think if we do that, we'll be in a better place going forward. So I think the true test will be League One, but if we start to see what we think we're going to see, that holds McSheffrey in good stead. And to get someone like Steve Ayres as assistant manager as well, you know, managed Kieran Trippier and Ben Mee in the Man City Youth for the FA Youth Cup. And, you know, he's got bags of experience. So, and to have Frank Sinclair in our youth academy, we're starting to really get the moves now. And I think we're bringing in our replacement for head of recruitment as well at some point in these next couple of weeks. So Graham Younger, who was only here 12 months, was shocking. I think he brought in, 22 players in 12 months, something like 20-odd players in 12 months. And I don't think somewhat like 15 to 20 players in 12 months. I think only 2 or 3 made any kind of impact. So needed to get the boot. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll bring in someone good. And also got a new under-18s manager, Chad Gribble, who worked with Ollie Watkins at Exeter and grew him and helped grow him in the Exeter Academy. So to get someone like Chad, I spoke to him in B&M a few weeks back, actually. I saw him in B&M with his missus and we spoke to him a few weeks ago. So the fact that these people are out and about in the community and just, you know, interacting with fans is just great to see. And like I said, someone like Chad who's got that experience of working with Watkins in Exeter's Academy just says volumes about the direction we're going in.
No, awesome. Well, listen, for that, I just wanted to jump on, obviously, show your support, man. You're doing an amazing job.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated, and hope to see you throughout the season.
Yep, no doubt. Take care, everyone.
Cheers, mate. Brilliant to have Rich on the show. Let's bring Dylan on now. Dylan, pre-season will begin in July. We've got our third signing through the door, Luke Molyneux. That's a good quality of signing for me, especially if we've fended off interest from Derby.
Yeah, Chal, how are you, mate? First.
Yes, we're back. We're back for a new season, and hopefully this one's better than the other one.
Yeah. Anyway, Luke Molyneux, top quality signing. He's shown in League Two that he can score goals. He didn't get any assists, but I don't care. He's a goal scorer, and as long as he scores goals, takes us back up to League One, we're having a party.
I think we're going to have a promotion party hopefully this season. Obviously, it starts in pre-season. We are on Foot Welfare on the 2nd of July. As we already know, I am going. I'm guessing you'll be there, Dylan?
Absolutely, mate. All of them. Maybe not FC United of Manchester, but I'll be there for restroom.
Yeah, I cannot wait to be back on that coach to Spennymoor, Nuneaton, United of Manchester. Cannot wait to be back on that coach this season.
Oh, buzzing. I hope Kenny travels over from Chicago to go to Spennymoor on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. So
Absolutely.
then, I mean, looking at the signs we've made, then Luke Molyneux, George Miller, Harrison Biggins, and it's probably going to be a new permanent left back, maybe another permanent centre midfielder, a lone winger, and a lone striker. Would you say if those two, if the only two loanees we're going to bring in are of top quality as well, and we bring in two more permanents that are of top quality, would you say it's probably the best window we've had in the last 6 years?
To be fair, I've only been watching them for 7 since we went down to League 2 last time. And I think Grant McCann's window at best. I think the quality of loan signings were like, you can't, it's like top-notch recruitment. But to be fair with you, if we pull it off, go back up, then it's definitely going to be one of the best, like what I've watched when it comes to players and recruitment.
Yeah, and from the sounds of it, and you see the theme with these signings, it seems to be we're playing, swarming the opposition, high pressing, attacking football that's just exciting, like Klopp and Bielsa style football. And if we're going to play that this season, from the sounds, from the theme of the signings, if we're playing that kind of football for definite, mate, this will be the most exciting brand of football I've watched as a Rovers fan since the O'Driscoll days.
And as long as his defence is on it at all times, like last season, I feel we're off it, like, well, obviously, but I feel some individuals in that defence were just asleep most of the time, and that's where most of his goals came from, like that we conceded. So as long as they're on it, there's attacks on it, I can't see why we can't go Invincibles.
I mean, Invincibles a push, but I mean, if the squad are watching this and Invincibles is the challenge from the fans, then try your best. Obviously, like I said, we've got huge things coming up on Thursday. We've got the kit launch. Are you there for the kit launch, Dylan?
Well, train's on strike, so me and Joe are still thinking about how we're going to get there and back, like, but we should be.
Brilliant. And obviously, we've got the Papa John's Trophy group stage reveal. We've got the Carabao Cup opponents. We've got our league fixtures. So obviously I'll be doing a stream at 2:00 on Thursday. So you guys will be able to watch me on the train. Well, however you get in there. I mean, in terms of the actual competitions then, who do you think we're going to get on the first day of the season, first of all?
Oh.
Some people are predicting Hartlepool.
I'd love an away game. Because I think recent years we've had Gillingham at home. Last season we had Wimbledon at home. I think it's time to switch it up. Go to Grimsby Town away.
Classic fish and chips by the seaside.
A large following from beginning. We win that, and then that'll give an exciting brand of football. Show fans that we're in it for this season from beginning. And when we take large followings, because I think it's important that even though the fans have fell out with the club a little bit over the last year, I think it's important that we still take large numbers to away games and back the new players and McSheffrey.
Absolutely. It seems like McSheffrey's definitely getting it right. I know a lot of people didn't want him as a permanent manager, but it seems like him, Steve Eyre, Coppinger, our new sort of recruitment team with Ryan Simpson as head of performance analysis. It seems like the new recruitment team are
Aaron Challoner.
Right. Well, yeah, I take a bit of responsibility on George Miller, but it seems like the entire recruitment team seems to be getting it right now, and it feels like football people. When you get football people making football decisions, lo and behold, it's working.
Definitely, I rate it, to be fair, because we're all judging why we weren't bringing in head of recruitment, and Coppinger's really stepped out what would you say, maybe a zone where you wouldn't expect as a new director of football, stepped out of that with McSheffrey and said, look, I've got a job to do, and I'm going to recruit best I can. And they're both doing a fantastic job. They're proving people wrong.
Well, you look at the last two signings. I mean, obviously, I don't know how much interest Biggins had as well as us, but you look at the other two signings: Miller, interest from Bradford and Stockport; Molyneux, interest from Barnsley, Derby, Hearts. A few Bradford fans wanted him. We're fighting off some good clubs here.
Who were probably going to have offered him more money. Look at Stockport. Who did you say? They'd be offering players 2,000 or 3,000 a week.
Well, this is what I mean, though. Like Stockport, I think Stockport, in my opinion, has got a bit. I think for me, Stockport's got a bigger transfer budget than us. But if we can offer a better deal for them than Stockport with Miller, for example, would you say there's still a pulling power at the club?
There must be, yeah. There's got to be, hasn't there? And you look at Molyneux today. He said about how McCheffrey went about his interview with him, like showing his goals, got his clips together. Like they're making people feel welcomed, and behind the scenes, obviously more than what fans know, they're actually doing the job properly.
I mean,
but we obviously don't see the behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, we only have to hear it from Molyneux's point of view. He said in his interview that he thinks this club has the ambition to get back into League One and then hopefully back into the Championship long term. So you've got to, I mean, as a fan, we've got to feel some cautious optimism for hearing that.
I hate optimism. I'm always optimistic. I always go into every game optimistic, but I always come out of it wrong. So I'm going to stop predicting stuff and just wait until end of season. Hopefully at end of season, we're right up top. I don't mind doing wait a day down at Wembley, but I prefer to secure it first or second, or even third, as long as we go up. But
yeah, there's less heartaches in a visit to Wembley.
Absolutely.
In terms of the Carabao Cup, then, obviously we can't get Oldham this time, which is our usual bogey team in the Carabao Cup. But who do we think we're going to draw in the Carabao Cup? Do you think we'll draw Blackburn again? Do you think we'll draw a different team this time?
Well, I was saying earlier, I want a Millwall on a Tuesday night away. Quality.
To be fair, could you imagine if Miller scores against Millwall when you got Millwall fans just chanting Mill and we're just chanting Miller, Miller?
Won't surprise me if his chant don't go along lines of them, to be fair with you, mate.
Yeah. Molyneux, Molyneux, Molyneux.
We got to Wolverhampton in FA Cup or in next round after in Carabao Cup. Nah, I'd love to go to Barnsley, to be fair with you. I think Barnsley, George Miller, hat-trick.
Yeah. Well, Miller hat-trick to prove why Barnsley shouldn't have let him go. But if we get Wolves in the FA Cup if we go far in the FA Cup and get Wolves, Molyneux owns Molyneux. Molyneux owns Molyneux. But yeah, overall, I mean, there's some potential great moments this season to be written with the teams that we're facing this season, the players we've brought in so far. Like I said, a left back hopefully shouldn't be too far away either. Hopefully try and get another midfielder through the door. We've got trialists coming in pre-season as well that should hopefully try and hit the ground running. Couple of low knees. Like I said, Gary McSheffrey, as I said earlier, he seems like he's sticking to just 2 low knees maximum this season, which I want to get your thoughts on that because the past couple of seasons we've been pretty much lone central for nearly all the squad. We've had 5 low knees most of the time in the past couple of years, 5 or 6, and we've now finally stuck to just a couple of low knees.
Well, I look at squad. We've got a 21-man squad. We brought in, how many have we got now? 23 with Miller
24.
and...
I think 24.
Yeah, with new free signings.
Yeah.
We don't really need 5 loans. Last couple of seasons have showed we've overloaded. When we got Darren Moore, we had 7. Last season, we ended up finishing the season with like 6 in total. Obviously, Pontus went and Kuka went back. But we're overloaded. When we overload with loans, it gets too complicated for us. These players come in January. We don't have a clue what we're about. We're coming at the beginning of the season. Kuka didn't even know how to speak a word of English. Rodrigo Vilca got dropped off in Donny with his Newcastle stuff, and it were a complete mess. Or just panic loan signings.
That was a panic buy for sure. That was definitely.
We know what. And the players who never really showed out. Wellen said Kuka were a 20 goal scorer. He scored 1 in 20. And
now he's in the Turkey senior team, scoring a couple of goals in the Watford Academy and getting back to his best. Is it the way we played? Is it the survival football that we were playing last season?
Well, we just crap anyway. He couldn't take a ball down to save his life. So
It was
But
his
that
first season in senior football, so he'll learn from it and move on. But at least he's got that bad experience under his belt to just forget about.
Yeah, all it took for him to be on bench against Everton in Premier League, and now he's Turk's big next big thing, isn't he?
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see what he does potential wise. I mean, maybe the way we played him and the way we were playing around him, maybe we'll look back on it in a couple of years, and maybe it was a case of potential's gone walking by and we didn't use it to its full maximum. But I mean, if we learn from this, we haven't brought in a lone striker this time. We brought in George Miller, who's a permanent for 3 years at least. So at least we've got someone nailed down in that position to compete with Rio, compete with Agard, and hopefully for Rovers fans' sakes, for most Rovers fans' sakes, send Joe Dadu out the door and Jody Wooler out the door.
Oh, honestly, if when they go, it'll just be like end of season when we go up. We'll be partying because I've never known two useless players come to the club. They're shocking.
It's not that they're shocking, it's just they don't fit with our system. It's not that they're shocking, because they are good players at times. They just don't fit with the way we play, and they're just not good enough for our system.
I remember Dodu's first game against City under-21s on Papa John's Trophy. He went and scored, 2, yeah. And he was next big thing for Rovers. He was next John Marquis. Look how he's turned out. He doesn't even want to play for the club. He don't want to play for the club.
Notts County fans are asking us on social media, what's he like, because we are linked to getting him.
Well, I've got a feel for him. And whoever gets a Wooler, I'd want a refund for my season ticket because he's horrendous.
To be fair though, if he does well if he does well in their system, then you could think that it's a good business. I mean, someone's just messaged me on put me on Twitter saying, "Where's John Taylor going to fit now?" Confused by the signing because no way is the new guy going to get play on the left. I mean, he's got a point. I mean, whether this means John Taylor leaves, I don't know, but
he can't.
That's what I mean. He can't, especially if he's getting back to his best fitness-wise, and if he's back for the first couple of weeks of pre-season. But when you've got Luke Molyneux, I mean, to be fair, I like this situation now because we've got Luke Molyneux, who's a great winger on either side that could cut in with his left foot and swing it in. We've got John Taylor, who's got pace in bucket loads. I think maybe the plan, I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think the plan probably will be Clayton, Biggins, and Rowe in the midfield three, and then maybe Barlow, maybe Molyneux, Taylor, and Miller as the front three.
I've got to be honest with you. I don't even for me, I don't think Biggins will play much. I know it sounds stupid, but I feel his midfield is going to consist of Rowe, Clayton, and then Molyneux playing in that more attacking forward position.
Okay.
Bringing in Josh Martin on left, Miller striker, Taylor right wing.
Okay.
That would be me, but obviously, we're not going to drop Biggins, are we? But
I mean, do you feel for Barlow though? Because he's going to get more consistent amount of games now on the left wing, which is his preferred position. He's not going to get thrown about at wing back and stuff like that. He's going to he's got all the tools now to have a good chance of showing what you can really do in a consistent position on a consistent amount of games. Would you say bring in Rowe in the midfield three, maybe Molyneux playing behind the striker because he can play there and he has done quite well at times in that position as well as playing on the wing, and then have Barlow on the left-hand side to give him a chance? Or would you say Molyneux as the starting left winger and then maybe give Barlow a run out if needed?
Even though last season was Barlow's first season, I wouldn't have Barlow anywhere near. I think he's a poor player. I mean, to be fair, when we went to Fleetwood away, he played well in that right wing-back position. But like you said, we're not going to be throwing him about into positions like that. He's going to be in that one set position. Give him a chance in pre-season. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
That's where we saw him. That's where we saw him. I think I said to Richie, I said, Barlow's looking good. We should try and sign him. And Richie said, shh, keep it down. We might get people. You never know who's walking about here in conversation. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a similar pre-season where it's like, oh, can we keep Barlow on a longer deal at the end of the season if he does stuff like this every week? It's like, shh, it's not start the season yet. But no, if we're going to play Taylor on that left or right, and then Molyneux either side of that, then probably Rowe at Cam, and then I think that's probably going to be the case. I think it's probably going to be Clayton and then either Close or Biggins on the other side of the midfield.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Ben Close.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm sort of thinking. I mean, because last time when we played the 4-3-3, we were playing it as similar to Liverpool's 4-3-3, where we had like a CDM and then two playmaking midfielders or a playmaker in a box-to-box in front of the CDM or the deep line playmaker. And then we had the left wing, the right wing, and the striker. So it's probably going to be Clayton as the deep line playmaker. Maybe Close as backup to Clayton, who can also play in the playmaking position further forward. Have Close and Biggins or Rowe and Close or Rowe and Biggins. And then maybe have Taylor on the right, Molyneux on the left, and Miller up front.
Honestly, all I think we need now, looking at that, we've got so much defensive depth. We've got midfield depth. Up in striker, we've got numerous numbers. So a left winger and a left back, like two left backs and a left winger. That's all we need now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look on that left-hand side. Obviously, we know Jordy Ruler probably won't be around the squad for barely any games. He'll probably either go this summer or January. I think we know that for a fact, pretty much. So we've got in terms of players that can play on that left-hand side, we've got Tommy Rowe, who I think will play in the midfield. We've got Taylor, who can play on the left as well as the right. Molyneux can play left and right. Barlow, who can play left, right, and the false 10. And then maybe bring in a loanee. Maybe that's where one of the loanees come into play. And then bring in a left back, and then maybe a left back on loan as a second loan option.
Jackson, Doon, and Martin.
Ooh, Jackson, Martin, and who's the other one?
That Sunderland left back who were linked with Kieran.
Yeah,
who
Kieran
seemed to be really interested in it or in talks with.
Yeah, Kieran Dunn. Me personally, I would go with probably Kieran in terms of what could happen. I would go with Kieran Dunn as a left back option. In terms of lone wingers, I would maybe look at bringing in someone like Andrew Moran from Brighton. It's described as the Irish Phil Foden. I think having someone like him with that bag of potential on that left-hand side could give competition to some of the permanent talents. And then if you're going to bring in a loanee left back to go with Kieran Dunn, you'd maybe look at someone like Man City's Juan Larios. You maybe look at bringing in Ben Christine, who Chad Gribble worked with at the Exeter Academy, who's now under-18s manager. So that's a potential connection to bring in Christine on loan from Aston Villa, from Stephen Gerrard's Villa. So I'd maybe look at probably Christine on loan, Moran on loan, and probably Kieran Dunn. And then maybe that's probably our business done. I mean, maybe bring in a lone striker. If you need a third loanee, then you bring in a loanee striker just in case for depth. And you maybe look at someone like Charlie McNeil from United or someone like
that. Yeah. One question for you. Has Louis Jones, I saw a picture with Louis Jones training with us. Has he signed a new contract?
We activated the option of 12 extra months in his current contract. Same with Ben Bottomley.
Oh, right. I thought we got offered. I didn't know.
Yeah, we've activated the options in Bottomley, Jones, and Anderson. And I think there's an extra 12 months clause option for Clayton, Younger, and
Kulea.
Kulea, yeah. We've got an option with him, I think. And then we've also got a 12-month option with Clayton and Younger. I think there's someone else, but I think it's definitely Clayton and Young with a 12-month extension option. But I think Kulea is definitely going to maybe look at getting a contract if he recovers and he proves that he still wants to be here. So and Kalea's got some potential. I think we can all see that. So it'd be nice to see him recover and get back in that academy squad. But no, in terms of league predictions at this early stage, then, mate, I mean, I've said it to Rich, the Crystal Palace fan. I said it. I think the aim is probably top 3, top 4 minimum. I mean, especially after the window we've had so far, I'd probably say top 4, top 3.
Yeah, I'd love to see us obviously a bit top, but I'd probably say at this moment in time 4th, because we haven't really seen what we're doing.
Yeah,
wait until I'd say Rotherham. I think that's really the game where we can prove ourselves. Or Huddersfield, them 2 games are the games where we're coming up against like quality, not
That's
like
the kind of-
part-timers. We're coming up against teams where
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
show us qualities and that.
Yeah, they're in a division where we want to be long term. So, they're going to be the real test for us this season in terms of preseason games. And obviously, I think in terms of league position, the real test will be halfway through the season and then getting up to about and then wait until the January window's over, see where we are after that. And then March, April time will be the sort of guess as to whereabouts we're going to finish this season.
Yeah. I hope we hit like up in top 7 in first month. We're in top 7 in first month. It's a good start. We get to Christmas, we're in top 5. Come end of season, we're in top 3. I think it's a successful season from beginning to end. And if we ain't got 80% win rate by Christmas, I think I could be quite disappointed. But again, I'll wait and see what happens in pre-season and see where I can actually see us being coming end of season.
Mate, I'd accept 65 to 70% win rate halfway through a season if it means getting promoted at the end of it. But there we go. Dylan, mate, thank you very, very much for coming on the show, mate, and I'll see you at Armthorpe.
Cheers, mate. See you on Thursday.
Yeah, kit launch on Thursday, so I'll see you there,
right,
mate.
All right, no worries. See you later, Charles.
Brilliant to get him on the show as always. Let's go through some comments that we've missed up. We missed a load of comments through the Rich talk and also with Dylan. Good evening, Doncaster on tour. Hi all to John. Big up Palace. Mark Bright, legend. Just give us Vieira on a season-long loan. How much will Palace miss Gallagher? I think it'll be interesting without Gallagher with Palace. Championship is the most competitive league in the world. Absolutely. Our Twitter is milking this signing. Surely it's nearly a done deal. To upgrade the Eco Power, we need to actually sell it out at 15k. That is absolutely correct. Maybe if we get back in the Championship in a few years, maybe we'll do that. Especially with us being a city now, maybe we'll attract some people from the outside in and build the population up with us being a city now. I beg we do a Bournemouth. If we do a Bournemouth, mate, I'll never live it down. And Rotherham fans will never hear the end of it. The biggest thing for me is getting the Black Bank fully behind the team and making some real noise, flags, banners, and singing as one. What's your thoughts? We have to make the Eco Power Stadium a fortress next season. We have to make it a fortress. Even during the season, we want to forget this past season just gone. We were still singing, we were still trying, we were still giving the team everything we've got. When they need criticize him, we give it. If they need praise him, we give it. We give our all, home and away, every single match throughout bad seasons and good seasons. So we've got to make this place a fortress next season. Fresh trimmed trowel, looking good for the ladies. To be fair, mate, it was very short a couple of months ago, and about a month ago. So it's just growing. That's all it is, mate. It's just growing. I've not really trimmed it as much. Charlie's players are the sort of players we needed last window. If we get promoted and play with pride again, I'll forgive Baldwin and co. Onwards. There you go, owners. There you go. That's a promise from someone. That's what the owners have got to look at. That's what the owners have got to look at. Fans that turned away but are happy to apologise and look ahead to a bright future if we do well and if we prove we can do well and recruit to do well. So if the club do everything they can to appease the fans and we finish well and get promoted this season and finish well back in League One next season as well, then the fans will start forgiving people. So it all starts with one step, and that's what it takes. What do you think of the new boys? Miller, if you're playing the right way, which we look like we're going to do, I think we'll work with him. Luke Molyneux, very excited about that signing, especially with the way we're playing. And again, Biggins, box to box, work rate, energy. Gotta love it. Anything less than top 6 will be disappointing. The bar is set, especially with the new signings. Absolutely. If we finished outside the playoffs, if we finished outside the top 7 with the signs that we've made, it would be a disappointing season. Going to 20 preseason games. I will be going to Armthorpe, Rotherham and Huddersfield at home and Armthorpe away. And then I should try and hopefully be in the final stage of sorting out the away coach to get to Nuneaton, FC United of Manchester and Spennymoor. Because I believe Mr. Mayfield, the known man from the vlogs, is running the coaches again on pre-season. So I'll be able to give you guys some pre-season journeys to some new non-league clubs. One last thing, big up Chell for the signing of George Miller, because that is world-class recruitment. I'm pretty sure the club will have scouted him anyway, but it's just timing. It's just coincidental timing that I started recruiting him, and when they started the interest. So after I put the video out, so it's just coincidental timing. If anyone can name a better midfield than ours next season, feel free to share. To be fair, mate, you've got a good point. I think we are one of the best midfields on paper going into next season's League Two division. With the players that we've got. We've got Tommy Rowe, who's played in the Championship and League One, Ben Close from League One, Adam Clayton, who's played in the Premier League Championship and League One, Harrison Biggins, who's played in League One, got League Two experience as well, played in non-leagues as well. And then if you want to put him in the false 10 position rather than the wing, you've also got Luke Molyneux, who's played in League Two and come from Sunderland to Hartlepool. And we've had to fend off multiple interests from top League One clubs for him. So it's going to be very hard to find another midfield. It's going to be very hard. It is going to be very hard to find a better midfield. 4 clubs get promoted from League Two to League One. We have to be one of them. It's an opportunity to right the wrongs and amount of promotion places that we need to make the most of. Absolutely agree. I'm in the Donny development, but from what I've seen, there's a couple class players. Absolutely. I've heard a lot of stuff from the academy, and I've spoken to people from Club Doncaster and people from the academy, and they told me there's some bright prospects in that academy coming up over the ranks over the last year or so. So, the academy is getting stronger and stronger, especially when you bring in someone like Freddie Allen, who's a good young up-and-coming defender. A left back from Norwich City, and fighting off Category 2 interest to get him in. I think the academy's getting better and better. Maybe this new direction is what it takes under this self-funding model. Maybe that's what Coppinger was trying to get across to the fans over the last week with that interview about the self-funding model. He said we're happy about the self-funding model of the club, and other clubs should take note and learn from what we're doing. With Coppinger saying that, people were like, well, what do you mean by that? What do we mean, like, clubs should learn from our self-funding model? If it means the academy is getting better, and it means our quality of recruitment's getting better, and there's more better football decisions being made, and we move up the pyramid again, if that's what it takes to be a self-funding club, other clubs should learn from us. Development is step below academy as a goalkeeper, but there's a few decent players in there. Very encouraging. Very, very encouraging. I think I'm probably going to stop there. I might do a Twitter space at the end of the week. I might do a Twitter space. I might do a Twitter space when the fixtures get released. Depends how early in the morning it is. I might look at maybe doing a Twitter space when the fixtures get released on Thursday. So look forward to that. We've got a stream coming up at 2:00 in the afternoon on the 23rd of June on that Thursday as well. For the recap of the fixture list, the recap of the Papa John's Trophy group, and also to react live to the Carabao Cup draw. And then I'll be at the stadium. I'll be at the Legends area, the Jibba Jabba restaurant, for the kit launch, where we'll find out some more details as well. There's a Q&A with some surprising guests, which we don't know who they'll be yet, but I'm sure they'll surprise us on the day. There'll also be the first team management staff coming in to talk about the season ahead, talk about the fixtures that were released earlier in the day. And a lot of good stuff coming up. So stay tuned for some brilliant content coming up. I am the CHALL. Did Lewis Jones or Ben Botman extend their contracts? They'll be leaving. Yes. They're both still here, like George says, they're renewed. Both of them have got 12-month extension options in their contracts. We've triggered them. So they're both here for another 12 months. But they'll be out of contract this time next year. I honestly think Rio will be the one to watch next season, lads. I think he will as well. I think playing the high-pressing football, I think, will show off the best of Rio's qualities. You look at the goal he scored against Sunderland. Off the shoulder, timed his run perfectly, on goal, decent strikes. So I think if we start playing that way and playing that high-pressing football, we'll show the best of Rio Griffiths. Miami in the academy is to be academy by end of this next week, so I'll find out. No worries. But that's me for this video, guys. I am the CHALL from Chal Sports, and that is full time. I'll see you guys for some more content this week.